that, but maybe locking people up for 5 years without parole is the way to deal with knives. Let's hear what you have to say, Amy.
We seem to have quite a united view, actually, but we're going to go to Rosaline on line 2.
Morning, Rosaline.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So what do you think the answer is? Is it hard time?
Oh, yes, it definitely should be. I actually think that the culprit should be taken to the hospital where the victim is seriously ill and let them see the damage that they have done, and also see that how upset the relatives is. Even to take them to the mortuary to see what that could be them.
And then lock them up for 5 years as well. You're into locking people up and not letting them out.
Yes, very much.
Would that include?
And while they're in there,
would that include?
While they're in there, instead of having advert for taking blood, why don't they take blood from them, or people in dialysis and things like that? Take a kidney, take an eye, a life for a life.
Okay.
So if they do the crime, they should do the time.
Okay, Rosalind, thank you. We've got loads of calls. Forgive me for cutting off.
Let's go straight to Saffron on line 4.
Saffron, good morning.
Hi.
Hi. Would 5 years hard time be the answer?
Not for this generation.
Why not?
I believe it's a progressive problem from generation after generation of looking after yourself rather than the country or the world.
Right.
I think it's focusing more on what media is giving us with the gangsters, the rappers, the films, the industry of celebrity, being able to get away with a lot they do compared to the working class. And I believe that
I'll be absolutely honest, Saffron, I don't know if that is actually true at all.
I do believe in that in one way, from living in the States as a child and moving back here and being absolutely blown away by gun violence over there and the divide of punishments over there.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that mirror when I was a child and a teenager here in the UK. I'm seeing children of...
What would you do, Saffron? What would you do? What would you do then?
Re-educate, reprogram the human race.
OK, right, well, do you know what? With the greatest respect, Saffron, I mean, it'd actually be easier before you re-educate the whole human race to just lock a few bad guys up, and maybe even a few not-so-bad guys, because that's the problem, isn't it? If it's going to be an all-encompassing blanket punishment, people that aren't that bad are going to end up... Well, I would imagine they're not that bad are going to get banged up. Maybe that's the price we have to pay. Thank you.
Okay, we've got Susie on line 5.
Susie, good morning.
Good morning.
5 years, is that the right kind of time?
Well, I think about 5 years, yes. My son was caught with a knife on him, and he was actually given a 9-month sentence.
Right, how long did he do?
He did 5 months, and his friends were deterred. He was deterred, and it was the best thing that could have happened to him.
How old was your son?
He was 15 at the time. He'd never been in any trouble at all.
And why was he carrying a knife?
All his friends were.
How did he get caught?
Basically, we're not that far from Liverpool, and they were doing a standard, anyone with a hoodie just searching them, and he got searched, found with a knife, and was charged.
Wow.
Okay. And it was in a big clean-up, if you like, of the area.
And he no longer carries a knife?
No.
His friends, they don't carry knives either?
No, it's frightening them. The other thing that's happening is that a lot of kids are being allowed by the parents to bring knives in the country, and they show them off in school. Look at this blade, look at this knife I've got. And there was one boy who was about 14, 15, brought in this particular blade called a butterfly knife.
Yeah, I know.
And a girl bought it, this knife, off this other boy, and it was used in a crime, and this girl had been attacked, and in her self-defence she nearly killed this other girl in this knife.
That's girl-on-girl knife crime. OK. All right, Susie.
And the other girl nearly died, and this other girl's got 4 years. OK. It's interesting you say that while your son had 5 months that you support 5 years, especially as 5 months did the job for him. Thank you for the call. Thank you for being so open. Let's have another.
Next caller is Dee from London on line 3.
Dee, good morning.
Morning, Matthew.
5 years hard time?
Yeah, definitely. It's the only way, sorry, that that's going to help the situation, really, because like the previous caller said, it does have an effect. You know, if people don't know.
Are we too light on people at the moment? Is that part of the problem?
Yeah, absolutely too light. You know, get off scot-free for injuring somebody. It's just not on. You know,
What if someone... What if... I mean, the problem is how... Not everyone who carries a knife is intending to use it. Do we just ignore that? Maybe they're just scared. People are just scared.
Well, that's not an excuse. I'm scared, but I don't carry a knife.
Right, I'm scared and I don't either.
I don't carry a knife. And also, you can differentiate between somebody who's going fishing and has a little penknife or somebody who is using a knife for their job. You know, you've got to exercise, you know, that sort of... what do you call it? I've lost the word.
Discretion.
Yeah.
It's something sometimes Plod does have a problem with, though, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I would feel entirely comfortable if I was working here on cameras and carried a leather man around. If I forgot to take it off leaving the office and got pulled by Plod, that he would say, oh, well, I'll take it on the chin, you're a camera writer, you can go about your business. I suspect that life will probably be a bit more complicated than that. Mind you, with some of them, would be care if they were locked up for 5 years. So dead. OK, a light-hearted end to a very serious issue. Thanks for all your calls on that. After the ads, don't use your mobile. Don't use your mobile in the loo. Are you one of those people who feels compelled to use your mobile on the loo, either at home or when you're out and about? And if you are, what is the matter with you? I mean, surely no call is so important as the call of nature. Eh? If you're peeing in a public loo, don't you give a damn about those in the cubicles next to you? Can't they poo in peace? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your calls. Should mobiles be out of bounds on the bog? You tell me in a minute or 3.
How many mobile phones are accidentally flushed down the loo every year in the UK? Is it 8,500, 85,000 or 850,000?